Yes, guys, good morning. Welcome back to the YouTube. The first one we have done since becoming Mr. Britain. British heavyweight bodybuilding champion, Two Bros, 2025. So, lifelong dream for me, 15 years working towards it. We went on into the overall and we just missed the overall to the super heavyweight, which would have been a pro card. So, I said at the beginning of the year, my goal was to prove that I'm the best amateur bodybuilder in the country for my weight class, which I did. As much as it was the British finals, the super that won actually wasn't British, so technically I was the highest placing Brit. So I think it'd be pretty hard for anyone to argue that at this moment in time I'm not the best amateur bodybuilder in Britain. So hopefully we can take that one step further next year and get that pro card. So that then leads us on to what we've got going on now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through my off-season growing phase, which is a small little post-show growing phase before we jump into a little bit of recovery phase up to Christmas. And then we're going to hit a proper long 20-week growing phase before we start prep in June for a similar run of shows next year. Operation overall. Let's get that pro card. I have, after almost 10 years of coaching myself and having a bit of help from Eliza as well, I've been checking in with Eliza this last year and bouncing everything off her. My wife Eliza, very accomplished coach. Probably done a bit more coaching than me, to be honest, with me having focus in other areas, but fantastic competitor, fantastic wife, fantastic coach. So we have now delegated my everything to do with bodybuilding to a professional coach. I do feel like that's what's going to get me to that next level next year. So we're having a good full year with a new coach. So we'll start with the diet. I did have a prospective post-show plan that I did actually send to my new coach, and he basically just worked everything off that. I think the biggest change is actually the training. The nutrition and the current PEDs isn't significantly different, and he structured my entire year leading towards next year's shows slightly differently as well. He's a fantastic coach. He's turned a lot of people pro. He's coached a lot of the top coaches in the country. Currently coaching Olympians. Seems to match up really well with my sort of chilled, laid back. I think we're a good match. So I'm happy so far. I've done a couple of check-ins so far. I like the setup. It's very intense in regards to check-ins and data that we're collecting, which I like. I will admit, one area I haven't really focused on for the last couple of years, trying to juggle the business and marriage and parenting and such, is treating my off-season with as much respect and as strict as prep. So the plan is to change that. We've got the plan. We're going to follow the plan. So meal one, eggs, sourdough, smoked salmon. My little morning routine at the minute with this new plan is I get up, I do my weight, I do my hydration, I do my blood pressure and my blood glucose. I fill all that in on my sheets, and then I'll get out and do my 20 minutes cardio, and then I'll come back and do my breakfast. My first meal being, like I said, eggs, smoked salmon, sourdough. Then second meal is what was normally my post-workout meal. It's actually my pre-workout meal now, so I'm on 2 meals prior to training as opposed to 1. That's whey, oats, a little bit of fruit. Intra, we've got EAA, cyclodextrin, and creatine. 30 grams of cyclodextrin there. Immediately post-workout, first chicken meal with rice and fruit. So that's meal 3. Meal 4 is steak, rice, and fruit. Meal 5 is chicken again, rice and fruit. And then my final meal is a no carb meal, salmon and veg. That's just to basically have a period where I'm not spiking my insulin, I'm not ingesting carbs, so that my blood sugar is blood glucose is in a better position first thing again in the morning. So the totals for that are actually 350 protein, 500 carbs, 100 fats. It comes in at about 4,300 calories currently, and I am actually about 5 kilos up from stage weight when we were on 2,800 calories, and I was cardio about 15,000 steps. Rest day, the diet is the same on the rest day, but the carb servings are slightly smaller, which pulls it down to 400 on a rest day. So a rest day is slightly lower. So that's my nutrition. That's my daily meal plan and my nutrition totals. So training. When it comes to training in some ways has changed quite a bit. In others, I would say the weekly volume is almost the same. Just the way it's set up is different. So Monday we've got push A, which is predominantly a chest-based push. Tuesday we've got my posterior session, which has my hip hinge in there, which for this phase is a stiff leg deadlift. Wednesday is a rest day. Thursday, which is today, I'm looking forward to this session. Push B, which is predominantly delts, and it does have a little bit of chest in there. One of the focuses for us this year is to bring up my chest, upper chest, and side delt. Friday is my leg session, and then Saturday is a pull session. So we've almost got 2 pushes, 2 pulls, and a leg day. Because it's posterior, there's a little bit extra hamstring stuff in there, because one of the other goals is hamstring and a little bit of back width and back thickness. Abs are in there 6 times a week. I'm literally doing a slightly different ab routine every other day with 1 rest day. And then calves are in there twice a week. Once, which is like seated calf after posterior. Before posterior. And then 1 is standing calf prior to legs on a Friday. So that is the current training setup. And then finally, if we move over to PEDs, we've got 400 tests per week, 400 EQ per week, 200 MPP per week. So that takes us oil-based AAS to about 1,000, 25 Proviron per day, 5 IU growth, 10 IU long sling, and 1 milligram of Reta per week, which is about to come out as we move into this recovery phase. Also, obviously, the oil-based AAS will come out in this recovery phase. We will be on some form of test-only / TRT numbers. 500 metformin before bed. I'm using 20 telmisartan. I've still got T3 in there, but I think that's about to come out, and T4 is still in there, which will potentially stay in depending on the GH usage. Again, we decided to run a small rebound growing phase for this couple of weeks post-show. I've got my bloods in today, so I'll get my bloods done today and get that back over to coach so we can just confirm that what we've provisionally put in plan is a go. So I pretty much think that's it, guys. Diet, training, nutrition. Delegated these tasks to someone with a bit more experience, a professional coach. I'm extremely excited for that. I'm extremely excited to treat this off-season with the respect it deserves. And the goal is to just live each day as a professional bodybuilder. And that's the easiest way to become a professional bodybuilder. Some people focus so much on being a pro as opposed to acting like a pro. If you act like a pro every single day and you have the genetics, which the placing that I got this year gives me the confidence that this is absolutely a goal that I should be chasing, you will ultimately end up achieving that goal. So that's it. That is the off-season update. Small growing phase. We'll move into recovery and then another big growing phase. Like I said, the training is a little bit different, so I will be getting a lot of training updates. I'm going to get as much videos done as I can, but I'm starving. So I'm going to get meal 2 in. We're training a little bit later in the day today because I've got my bloods in today. Coach wanted me to train post bloods. So we would normally do 2 meals and train around 12. We're probably going to get the 3rd meal in and then hit training midday. Then we'll have another 3 meals to get in, 2 carb meals, 1 no carb after that. So thank you for watching, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm Drew Walker, current Mr. Britain. We'll see you all next time.